Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today I want to talk about GAC Insights. So let's jump into it. So if you're not familiar with GAC Insights, it is the function of taking the raw data from Grand Arena from pretty much all the players, and it puts it in a very easy to use interface for us to get data on what works in Grand Arena. So Grand Arena is very challenging because we only get to do 9 attacks in a month with a single character or put it on defense, and that's a very low amount of data for us to see what's good, especially with once you factor in zetas, omicrons, datacrons, different speeds, different relics. It's a very difficult thing to be able to decipher if something is going to work or not. And a lot of times I'll see people do some attacks and it just has a 0% chance of winning, or a very, very low percent chance of winning. So what this does is it quantifies, as you can see here, 5.14 million battles, and it gives us percentages of what the average is for the win, and then all the data that you would ever need for it as well. If you wanted to, you could go into here and view all matches. You can view individual matches. You can see the nitty gritty of what is working and what isn't, because sometimes I'll look at a counter and be like, okay, it's like 60 some percent. Let me click into it and see what the losses are. And maybe the losses are low gear characters, or they don't have certain zetas, or they don't have certain omicrons, or if you factor in certain datacrons, then it makes a huge difference. So let's look at one of these, my past attacks and my last Grand Arena, and we'll go over what I would do for GAC Insights and how I could functionally use it. All right, let's see my defense here. So this player was not able to beat this defense here that I put down. So it's Quadme, Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan. We have Padme and Grandmaster Yoda. So all supports pretty much. And then we have Padawan Obi-Wan with the support cron. Very strong datacron overall. I generally don't worry too much about the side stats, but the level bonuses are very important. It's very hard to quantify this level of data as far as like defense and how it changes, and that's what makes datacron so annoying. But let's go over here, and let's say I needed to attack this, right? So if I go over here and I go, let's real quick look at this interface as far as what we have here. So we have filters. We can sort by battles, banners, or win percentage. So I just want to know, battles is the default, and it's just how many battles were done. So if I want the most amount of data to see like what most people are using, then I would sort by battles. Banners, if I want it as clean as possible, then I would go by banners of, for those that won, what's the average of the highest banners. So like banners 69 as high as it can go. And then win percentage. If I want to know what is the highest chance I have of just winning the match, then I would sort it by win percentage. So it defaults by banner, and then descending and ascending percent is for win percent or hold percent. So if you're trying to find a defensive, like if you're going through your defenses and you want to see like, okay, what's the highest hold percent, sort by hold percent here, and then ascending. And we'll see, okay, what is the best defensive team in Kyber right now? And then obviously Geos. Geos are like, let's look descending. Okay, so 100%. And then it just goes by based off of the individual team. So if you're looking like, hey, what does this defensive team have the greatest hold percent? You would have to go and put in the actual team here. So let's see, like, JMK, and I want to see like what does JMK hold against 100%, and then what is he holding here. So that's just some functionality for it, so take that off. All right, so unit type character ships. So you can do ships. I never use it for ships. I don't know why. I just don't care to. 5v5, 3v3. You can sort it by zones, I guess. Seasons are very important when you start working with datacrons. And then shows cleanups, has attacking GL, has defensive GLs. You can function these. So if you want cleanups, then you can look yes. If you're looking for cleanups, you can put no. All right, so attacking units. This is where I use most of the functionalities. If you go here, well, this is what you will use, or if whoever's attacking. And then let's look at the defensive unit first. So right now we have Quadme, right? So in Quadme, and then once you put in one defensive unit, you can back out of here, and then it'll list the characters that have been used. If there's no character that have been used before, it won't be listed here because there's no data. So as you can see, there's no like GLs or anything here. There's a lot of characters missing, and that's because for some reason people have used Queen Amidala with like Luthen 4 times, or Sabine, or Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, or BB-8. In Kyber, like there's defensive teams that have used Queen Amidala with these characters, like Leia. I don't know why, but that's how it works. Like the 1,000 times with Jedi Consular, like, but the most common 135 instances, or 35,000 and 133,000 are these two, which I did use. Next, we have Grandmaster Yoda. And the most common 5th here we have with over 12,000 is Shaak Ti. I did not use Shaak Ti. I use Padme. So let's go to view battles here. And then if you want to, you can also put the lead. The lead is dead, the members are exact. You can change this here if you want to. And then if you see here, you can change the leagues if you want to. I keep it at Kyber because I don't care to know what Erodium and below are doing. I just don't think the data is good enough for it to be accurate. And then if you want to, you can do it by divisions too. You can do Kyber 1 and it'll give you only the Kyber 1 status, or Kyber 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So I'll do all of Kyber. And then you can put min maximum here for what you're looking for. Banner, skill rating, attempts, duration, attacker GP, attacker defender GP, lead relics, attack min relics, and defense lead relic tier, defense minimum relic tier. If you just don't want your like gear 12, you do like relic, I don't know, 3 or something. So then it will give you data with like minimum relic 3 on the defense. So that way you can get as good of data as you're looking for. So if you want to have multiple battle leads, you can do these, or if it's like cleanups, this is where you start using these functionalities. You don't really have to. What I do is I'll usually filter out and put like exact. So let's say I cleaned it up and I took out pad 1 OB1, right? And then I need to clean this up, I could do like exact, and then it'll show me data for that. And there's no exact data where it's just these 4, so no one had left this specific thing, but that's what you can do. Or if you just clean up the lead, so you can do this, view battles, lead is dead, so that turns off the datacron, no data here. So there's just not a lot of data for this team. So you can go, now you go down here, into these are where it starts getting very important, and is where datacrons. So has defending datacron. If you want to, you can take out the datacron set. So since this one has dusted, I can put only unexpected resurgence because we don't have the data this week for the new datacron. So you can do this, and then you go to defending datacron set over here, and I can do support cron. So I add this one. There's not much data here. So let's go to defending datacron primary support. So let's view those battles for the support level, good level 6 support. And there's not a lot of data here. So only 1 Bane, 1 Leia used it. So as you can see, not a lot of Banes have won. This 1 Bane won, probably relic, yeah, relic 9. No, they lost. Oh, it's a hold percent. Whoops, 1%. Okay, so if you look here, Bane is pretty reliable. Treya was pretty reliable. let's go here and make sure that we have the Omicrons turned on. So if you see here, attacking Omicrons, defending Omicrons, defending Zetas. So if you notice that they don't have something, you can go exclude. So for these, they only have the 2. So you can go all exclude and then Queen Amidala, and then you can exclude this one, the lead. So there was no one there. Let's view the battles, and then it's the same amount. So none of these had the lead Omicron on. So if you look, a good solution would probably be Darth Bane. If you look at this, like Darth Bane is a good one, but Relic 8 with a Relic 9, Relic 7 with a Relic 7. Okay, so as long as you have Relic 7, Relic 9. So if you look here, Relic 9, Relic 9. So Bane lost once. So overall, and Leia lost. So Leia's not a good counter with this. It's actually a direct counter. Leia was never going to beat this because Padawan Obi-Wan hits under Leia. So that's how you can use insights. So if I was like, okay, I have to kill this, what am I going to do? Bane's a good option. Right now, there's not a lot of data on this specific datacron, so you can't really go through. But if you look at the functionality, I don't know how many times people have messaged in Discord and they're like, hey guys, does this beat this with this datacron or with that datacron or whatever? And what this does is it gives you exact data on whatever you need. And that's why I use insights, because it gives me the most data I can to win cleanly, and then it allows me to be able to choose my offense and my defense with actual percentages and data that is reliable. Because if I just go off of my experience is different than what than what, you know, like it varies. I may have only faced certain tiers of stuff, or I may have faced certain like incomplete teams or just like teams with the wrong datacrons, and I'm like, hey, this always works, let me use that, and then I try it and it loses. And it turns out, okay, it only works if certain things happen, like if it's a low relics or whatever else. So you have to look at the entirety of everything and how to go about it. And then also, my datacron has a good level 3. So if I go to the level 3, this one, go to the view battles, and it just filtered it. So like 50%, you can do it with Bane, or you may win, you may lose. So it's what this does is it gives you that functionality. And I'm not like advertising for Grand Arena Insights. This is for people who have it. Maybe your guild gives you access to it and you just don't know how to use it. But if you have access to this and you can use it in your Grand Arena at any level, it's gonna allow you to be able to climb better. I've even seen on people on Reddit that were in like Bronzium and they were using this, and they attributed a lot of their success of them climbing out of Carbonite was because of GAC Insights, because it allows them to know what works and what doesn't work. And it's just a much better version than if you look at the other one, which was I don't remember what it's called. It's not Insights. GAC squad counters, maybe. But there's a free version of this that gives you just like the overall data of it, and it's just not very good. So yeah, I think it's this. Not Insights, but it's just counters. So Ray counters, and they're like, hey, General Kenobi will counter Ray, and it has this win percentage. And you can use this, and if you don't have Insights, then this is at least something that will show you if you're in the right ballpark. The problem with this is you can't dive into the numbers, you can't look at individual fights, you can't see what's going on and why these win percentages are the way they are. Like maybe if this has a 97% win rate, then chances are, yeah, this is very good. But if this was in a season where let's say JMK, this isn't a good option here, but let's say this was datacron dependent and everyone pretty much farmed that datacron, and this had a super high win rate against Ray, but it required a certain datacron for it to work. You may look at it and be like, oh, hey, everyone's using this and it'll work for me. And then you try it and it fails and you're like, why did it not work for me? And it's because you didn't have the knowledge to know, like, hey, they all have a set datacron or relics or whatever it is that makes it important or makes the counter work. So that's Insights. That's how you use it. That's why it's good. I enjoy it. I think it's a good tool to use. You don't have to. It's not up to. It's not a must-have. But if you want something that's going to give you the competitive edge, I think Insights is a great tool, especially if your guild has access to it. So I will say that the price points for them it's $10 for you to buy it, and then it's $20 for your entire guild of 50 people to have it. So probably like price wise much better for one person to pay $20 than 50 people to pay 10. But I do want to say that I'm not sponsored by swjoh.gg. I just think that this is a very useful tool that you can use, and once you understand the functionality of it and what it can do, then it's very useful. Because I remember the first time I got it from my guild and I tried it out and I was like, this is a lot of stuff, I don't even know how to use it. So I just kind of like messed with characters and how to play around with it for a few seasons, and now that I fully understand it, I really do appreciate it. But you just have to kind of like dive in, mess with it as you're playing your Grand Arena. And I think as you build your attack, and if you have access to this, you'll see that it's an excellent tool and it's very well done. So thanks for listening. If you guys use it, let me know. Otherwise, if you guys think it's a waste of money, also let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.